I struggled with, I always tell people, but we all have a primary emotion. So my primary emotion up to that point was anger. I wouldn't get sad. I wouldn't get anxious. I would get angry. Anything that happened to me, anger was my first emotion. So there was a lot of anger towards, mom dying. It wasn't so much, I know your parents are usually going to die before you. It wasn't that. It was, the loss. It was the disappointment that my prayer hadn't been answered. My prayer for my mom's healing hadn't been answered. So it was that anger and the disappointment of, why should I come to God then? He didn't answer, and it was interesting because I knew God was there, and I could feel his hugs, during the whole process, but I wanted to be mad at him, and I wanted to keep him at a distance and say, no, I'm so angry at you. Don't hug me.
He's like, no, I'm not letting you go.
I'm not letting you. And that's exactly what happened.
How did you come out of that? How did God heal you through not just losing your mom, but losing her so early and to a disease and then being in the wilderness? How did you come out of that?
I could not bypass the sitting with God and sitting, like my friend says, in that mess, in those feelings. And you're like, oh, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to think this. I don't want to be angry at God. I don't want to sit there. But it was, I tell everyone that about 10 months after mom passed, I could not go to my place of prayer that I have right next to my bed in my room. I couldn't go there because I couldn't face God, because I was like, I'm just angry at you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be with you. And I never left church. I never left God. I just couldn't sit there with him in that mess. But there was one day, and I know that my church was praying. I know my pastors at that time were praying for me. So many people are praying for that breakthrough. And I want to encourage anyone who's praying for anyone where you don't see change, just keep praying, because that day came for me like 10 months later. And I remember sitting and said, finally, I got the courage, and I was nervous. And I sat there and I just cried for 2 hours. And I told God, my heart is broken in a million pieces. And I know you're the only one who can heal me. And that was powerful, Sherry. That was the point of where I just surrendered everything. And I said, I give up. I give up. I can't keep fighting. I can't keep ignoring you, because his presence and his hug, he had me so tight. I couldn't ignore him anymore. And that's when I just said, okay, do your thing. Do your thing. Here I am. I'm going to surrender my anger, my disappointment. I'm going to surrender everything to you.